Okay, we're live.
Oh, okay.
I believe so.
Let's double
Hi,
check. Yep, we're live.
okay. Hi, Debbie.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you
Let
for
me
having
just
me.
open this up. Let's see. Okay, I'm just going to share it to a couple places.
Me too.
Okay, awesome. All right. Hi, Debbie. Hi, everyone. We kind of just jumped on last minute, so hopefully a couple people will join in or they could watch the replay. So I'm here with Debbie, my friend, my colleague. We are here to talk about Transcendence, the upcoming virtual retreat on November 8th, 9th, and 10th. I'm sure you have all seen some advertisements for it.
Mhm.
We have 17 presenters over 3 days, and one ticket allows you access to every class. And if you can't make it live, you will get a recording.
Oh.
So Debbie is one of the presenters, and I just wanted you to come on and talk a little bit about what you are going to present.
Oh. Well, first off, thank you, Lauri, for putting this together. It is an honor and a privilege to be able to be part of the community, to come forward to hold space in the way that one is feeling guided or drawn to. If, as we resonate with so many, we catch the attention. And because this was your baby, you chose to put this together. Thank you for including me. And when we talk about grief and we talk about flying beyond grief with the angels, this was a title that was given to me many years ago by my mom. And so when we go through grief, we oftentimes look at grief through loss of a loved one, but we also forget that there's also grief and loss of who we once were. There's grief of job, illness. There's grief can present itself in so many different layers and ways. And so moving with the angels was something that was taught to me also by my grandmother, and incorporated in working with the angels at a very young age. And when we look at the angels and how healing can come forward with the energies, there's a different type of energy that comes with it. There's a frequency and vibration that comes when you're in that specific plane or realm. And if we can sit in that and allow the energy to come in a very healing way, there's a beautiful unfoldment. It still doesn't take away the hurt or the sorrow, but it can ease the discomfort and give us comfort as we are being held by that energy of spirit. And so working with the angels, that's what I was taught to do.
And I love that, working with mediums, I don't choose the topic, and neither do you. It was just what was given to you. So we have to go with what feels right and how we feel guided. So I have a question that I think everyone would love to hear. When you are channeling the angels, what does that energy feel like, and how is it different when you're talking to someone's loved ones?
I love that you say that. During my teaching of my course, as we go into the mediumship, we go into different realms and how we're connecting to different intelligence. And the angelic realm is one of them, whether this be a form of the saints or your ancestors or the angels, your own guardian angel, as we're appointed a guardian angel of birth, right? And so if we learn to connect to that energy and we're allowing them to come forward to present that intent to allow them to work with us, it's really allowing them to have permission to blend with us in the way that our soul essence is feeling into in the moment. They can feel our need, right? There's a softness that comes with it. There's a gentleness that comes with it. The vibration is very different. It's very comforting. As I went through the grief of before my mom had passed, and I couldn't explain it for maybe those that are in here that can maybe see how this resonates for others. Sometimes when we lose someone, it's due to illness, and there's a period of time that person is going through transition. And for me, there was a transition that occurred over and over again. So my spirit was already going through the grief before the actual passing. And so my spirit seeked solace and it seeked the comfort. And as I would go into circles, the best way you can see it is the hand of God or the hand of spirit uplifting you in the higher realms where your spirit was just so protected with the energies and frequency. And when I went into this event, and I remember it very clearly, it was almost 2 years ago. As the December comes around, it'll be a 2-year anniversary of my mother's passing. And I'll never forget it. It's one that impacted my life in such a very, very profound way that I will always say that was a gift from spirit, my mother and God. I get emotional as I say that because, and that's the energy and that's the frequency that we're feeling, that love of spirit, right? And so I remember going in and praying, not knowing that after that event, my mother passed 5 days after. And I was cared for from each medium with love, with grace, compassion. It was so profound that to this day, it just leaves a beautiful imprint in my heart from so many upliftment of prayers and mediums coming in the way that my soul in essence needed it. Before the event started, we always open up in prayer. And when I went in, it was 5 days before Christmas. And I remember saying, God, I need your prayer. I need your love. I need your support. And I was calling in the angels to give me strength to go through the transitions and changes that I was going through. And as I said that, the first thing that a medium said to me, Stuart was the person that Latimer, who said to me, he didn't know me then. He said, Debbie, you've been praying to the angels. First words out of his mouth. And each medium popped in and out of this Christmas event. And I kept getting read over and over. I think I got 10 readings that day because of the power of prayer, the power of the angels, and the need of healing, because spirit was getting me ready for my mother to transition.
Wow.
Yeah, powerful, right?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love it. You have some people on here.
Trudy Pranko says, I remember that. Yeah, it was so emotional. You know, it reminded me of the movie Rudy. You know, Rudy played this game, football, and he was such a little dude, and he went in for a football player in Notre Dame, and he finally got put in the game. And, you know, I'm like getting reading after reading, and I called my friend Jennifer. I'm like, Jennifer, I keep getting read. I go, what do I do? Do I get out and not take away from the reading? She's like, no, stay in. And so Rudy got his opportunity to shine with his team, because the upliftment of all the hard work you've done, it was like spirit was giving me that blessing of love and comfort. And so it is definitely a journey, and it's one that unfolds in such a beautiful way that our soul needs it.
That's awesome. So when you do, well, now I just want to ask you more questions.
Go for it, girl.
When you do a reading, do you use cards? How do you do it?
Actually, I can do both. So today I actually brought my angelic light working deck here, and this is Alana Fairchild, but I actually just honor the intuition of spirit. And so depending on the need, I usually can use the cards and I can connect in that way. But, you know, definitely very empowering. Debbie, do you connect with specific angels for grief? Oh, you know, I just welcome spirit, Mary. And, you know, this is what I taught my students, how to fill into the different frequencies of teams, right? And so if you're looking for healing with Raphael, I was given 4 angels. And, you know, when I was little, I would lay in bed and I would be afraid to go to sleep. And I was very little. I had to been about 4 or 5. And my grandmother, I would sleep between my grandmother and grandfather because my mother would work nights. And I remember she would say we would put an angel in that corner, an angel in that corner, an angel in that corner. And so ever since then, in every 4 corners, I've always welcomed the angels, right? And so Raphael is one that comes to mind, Mary, for you as you ask that question. There's a beautiful color of green that comes with that. And just welcoming the color of green and how we infuse our energy with colors, it's a way our soul is refilled from the hurt and the sorrows that we embody at that time. So color plays a beautiful factor in our healing journey. It's filling ourselves back up.
It's funny you mentioned Archangel Raphael. When I have someone close to me that's going through some health issue, I send them a statue of Archangel Raphael. But I say it's only temporary until you feel better, and then they have to pass it on to someone else. And that's my way of saying, I know you'll get through it, and then you pass it on to someone else that needs it.
Right. I love to use St. Jude as well. St. Jude is a saint that I like to use also and bring forward the color green. And if you want to make an intent with a candle, just using the intention to connect to that saint and asking for the color of green to come in, because you guys come in the color of that form of, and inviting that healing energy as well. I do work with healing doctors, so I ask for the healing doctors to come forward. I invite also surgeons to come forward. So I actually really go into depth based on what I'm working through. So it depends. So depending on the needs, I just say the best thing to do is just to ask spirit come closer, and also never forget to include your guardian angels and your angels, because there's so much gentleness and so much kindness when that energy comes in. It's a very different way of working.
That's awesome. So if some people are just coming on, I'll remind you, Transcendence Virtual Retreat, Debbie is one of the many amazing presenters we have. It's 3 days long. Tickets are $55, but if you use code Debbie, you'll get $5 off. And one ticket allows you to come to 18 sessions. There's going to be readings, teaching, mediumship classes, intuition, telepathy, grief movement. I can never remember them all. Demonstrations, so many things.
Yeah.
I'm actually doing a demonstration on Friday with one of the other mediums. So that will be fun.
Oh, that's cool. What medium are you working with on Friday?
Shelby.
Oh, okay.
Shelby May.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be good. I said, why not throw myself in there too?
Yeah, definitely. I love that there's so many people here. We'll say hi to Keith and also Brenda. I can see Keith watching in different places here. Melinda says she loves that, Louise. So thank you guys for just showing up and us just popping on. I really, go ahead.
Why the color green, Mary wants to know.
I saw Mary say that. There's a soothing component that comes with it. But Mary, what I want you to do is sit with the color green and see what that means for you. Every color means something different for each individual, right? And so when Spirit's bringing forward the color, it's what your essence is needing. So for me, it has a soothing, calming color. Not only that, it's also bringing that gentleness, but I'm also being shown that it works within my veins, my DNA, and my blood. So for me, that's how it's working for me. But for you, I'm assuming also that it's bringing it in for you in that way. So see how that resonates. So there's something here going on with your blood, your veins, your tissues. I'm really embodying that for you as my team just looks at you. At this second, I can just feel them really infusing the energy from the throat here. So they are connecting to you in that way as well.
That's awesome. So when you have your time in the Transcendence, you're going to teach a little bit and do some readings, correct?
Yeah. So what I'm going to be doing, what I was guided to do when you asked me if I would participate in the retreat, is to hold space to have someone take the steps into connecting to Spirit. And so what we do is we're going to pause and we're going to invite Spirit, whether it be through a light meditation, and not only a light meditation, but connecting to the souls that you're wanting to connect. We're going to hold space to invite them closer, teach them how to look for signs and symbolic connections in the way that feels right for them, and give them tools, whether it's through a card or whether it's through intention, and allowing them to set the emotion of moving forward and connecting to a loved one in spirit.
Okay. Love it. Any other questions?
I know. Come with the questions.
How long have you been doing this?
Over 20 years plus. So I remember I'm 48, y'all. Write it down. I'm 48, but as in my 20s, I worked at a angel store. So I love that we're talking about angels. And so I remember working with a gentleman, and this gentleman was a medium, and I didn't know that that's what he was doing. But being in there, I got to be infused with all the oils and all that they used to make the oils and the geometric symbols for clearing and healings. And I didn't even know any of that. I just thought it was so cool. I was 20 something, 21. And I remember going in there. So just admiring everything and just cleaning the little statues and working with the
Yeah.
different, learning about them. But I'll always remember the scent that came with it. It was very gentle, very loving. And to this day, I don't know what she was making, but she would put the little crystals in there. And I just know the scent. It's not an actual essential oil. It was something that was more of a soothing mixture of her perfume and stuff. But she was definitely one of those gypsies that traveled and just disappeared like a fairy.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. Thank you, Mary.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm excited. I can't wait. I want to watch all of them.
Yeah, I did too. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is our second Transcendence. The first one that you are in. The first one, we had just as many classes, and there were a few people that made every single class. There, like 18 of them. Right. So that will be great. And again, if you can't, you will receive the recording, so you won't miss out.
That'll be interesting.
I put the link in the comments. Use code Debbie for your $5 off. And I think we're good for now.
Yeah. Okay. Did you want to do any questions or any cards, or do you want to just? How do you feel about it, Miss Lauri?
Let's see if anyone asks. I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Will you pull me a card?
Yes. Before you even say that, I felt a mother step forward. It feels very motherly. Is your mother in spirit? Because I definitely felt.
Grandmother is, and she's been on my mind all day.
Okay.
Mother's mother.
I love that. So I definitely have to acknowledge mom, and there's a higher purpose. So here's your angelic card that was pulled immediately, which is the higher purpose, right?
Oh, that's awesome.
So as you go through your journey, so if I look at this card, first off, look at how beautiful it is, right? If I look at this card and I can see that you've been speaking your truth, I can see that the angels are pushing you out of your comfort zone. And I can also see that the color blue and the color turquoise has worked with you. And the way I interpret that is that you're a teacher, you're in your power, and you're coming from that place of learning and experiences, right? And so if I blend those two together, you're really going to be using your voice to speak up and to be part of Spirit's world. And as we talked about colors, you also work with colors. And so not only do you work with colors, but you understand them on a very deep level. Is what I'm hearing as well. And so as Spirit brings this forward, it's about teaching other people how to work with them. So I want to ask you, Lauri, how would you give Mary the color green, and how would you ask her to work with that?
I see green as sort of, well, for Mary, I see a school, like a desk, and I feel like that means she's making plans, sort of revamping, if you will, and at a point where she might be changing some of the plans she had and sort of like drawing up new ones. Time to learn something new and expand. Let's see.
But before I finish with you, really quickly, your grandmother is giving you the light, and this light is to show you the way. So you're either coming to two crossroads and you're making decisions with work. I want to say that the light is going to be very vibrant for you. So either you're going to leave, and this is very personal, whether you're going through transition of a every day-to-day job. I feel like the investment of the spiritual side of yourself is going to just flourish and bloom, which will also start taking care of you with the family in this sense. So grandma's saying your way will be shown when it comes to your work, if you would understand that. So that's what I'm getting for you.
And as soon as you said that, I was just brought back to my abilities started after a near-death experience, but after I saw the light. So
she's definitely acknowledging that.
And the light was absolutely beautiful and gorgeous and amazing. And you just kind of brought me back to that sense of peace.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. And so, I feel like baking, holidays, Christmas, cookies, like all those things I feel like are big, whether you put them in packages as gifts, and sugar cookies, your grandmother's showing me. So I know sugar cookies were very, one of her specialties, and candy canes. And I get the sense like getting the kids together, and she would give you guys all a little bit of money. So she was that lady who would make sure that you guys were taken care of as well, as the sense I get with her.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks.
So you're welcome, Lauri. So thank you for letting me pull a card for
Even though we're Even though we're mediums, we love it too.
I absolutely
Right?
love readings. Yes. Hi, Debbie Hearn. Thanks for being here from Wales, too. I absolutely love readings.
Grab my
And then look
card.
at the card that I'm getting. You can't make this up, because we're all healing. My healing journey, it just says, I'll wait for her to come back.
I'm coming.
No worries.
Okay. Are you pulling a card for someone else?
Actually, I'm going to end with a card, and it's the mother healing the mother healing. So we can look at this healing from the earth. And when I looked at this, I looked at your elephants in the back, the Ganesha. We'll look at that. So it's like moving through the energy of the earth, moving through the energies of mothers. You're talking about your grandmother, your mother, my mother. So it's like really inviting and including that love of our nurturing mother side, right? Our womb of who we are as essence as women. And so it's like we are uniting together, because I literally see women, us holding hands in a circle. So either you're going to do this in person, and I feel like in person, holding hands, that they got us to keep going. So it's like nothing will break the chain and link of friendship, family, and of unity of you as a woman with your family, of your mom. And I just say a lot of healing, a lot of love around mom as well. And so I just leave you with that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Someone's in Wales. It's late there, isn't it?
Debbie Hearn. She's amazing. Thank you, Debbie, for being here. She made sure that I knew the time zone in the UK. Because they changed this week. You know what's weird is that for me, my Apple phone did not have UK time zone. So I had to find it under Scotland. It was crazy.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Brenda. Hey, Cindy. So I'll let you pick, and then we can do some cards.
All right. Who else wants? Can you see the names and who wants a card?
I can see the comments. Can you see the comments? If you click on the right time, it says private chat.
There we go.
Yeah.
I'd love a card. Let me see. Brenda. I feel guided to go to Brenda.
Okay.
Do you know Brenda? I don't know Brenda.
No. I know Trudy though. Hi, Trudy girl.
Okay. Brenda, the card I picked is Child. You care deeply about children, and they readily respond to your love. All children, including your own inner child, require love, affection, and attention. We can clear and open your heart and schedule so that you can give more time and energy to the children who need you. And that's so funny, because the first thing I was going to say for Brenda is self-love. I feel like it's time to nurture yourself, to just get back to basics almost for a few days. I feel like that would help with grounding and just sort of feeling like yourself again. With the craziness, day-to-day stuff, sometimes we just detach from ourselves, and we're just spending so much time. That's me all over. We spend so much time doing for other people. So Brenda, give yourself some extra love, some extra TLC.
Yeah, I love that for her. Yes, I really need that.
Right.
I love that for her. And her mom, there's a connection of mom also with her. So it was, we brought in your grandmother, my mother. I definitely feel mom, heavily, just like angelic angel. So Michael Archangel is one that she connects to. So she needs to know that she's very protected and well loved. I get the sense, like when we use the title flying, yes, your mom, I'm so sorry. And I definitely get the sense, Brenda, like flying beyond the clouds, like with my mom, she gives me that title, right? And so when we are working through grief, please know that she's holding your hand. I do feel that a bracelet is brought forward in her essence as well. And so please know that her essence in reference to a bracelet of love, a reminder of love for children and grandchildren. I just want to give you a hug. And I'm so sorry someone did not get to say goodbye or not get to be there. But there is this a huge amount of just love coming your way. And so I'm just going to leave you with mom's love and say, God bless.
So I was so drawn to Iris, even though you were probably going to do it next. So I'm sitting here. If you saw, I shuffled my deck, And look at the card I picked for Iris again. Child. The same one as Brenda. So I feel like we are really talking about self-love tonight and just honoring yourself. It's just so important. One thing I tell people is to, if you're feeling frazzled, if you feel like you just don't know where you're at, take a moment and do a quick scan of your physical body. So often we're not taking care of the simple things we might need. We might need a drink. We might need a rest. We might need to just put our feet up, anything like that. So that's a good way. That's a good way to start. Iris is saying yes. Yeah, I feel like, Iris, I feel like you give a lot of yourself to others. I wouldn't be surprised if you are a caretaker now or were a caretaker. Being a caretaker is an amazing role, but remember, it would be impossible to do that unless you're taking care of yourself first.
I love that. I know Iris, and so yeah, I can validate that she's a caretaker.
Oh,
so I do know her.
perfect.
So I pulled a card for her because I've read for her multiple times. So I wanted to come to a card. And so it says recovering into grace. I think oftentimes, and I said this in the in-person event that we had where, we go into grief and we're coming out and it takes great courage to step out of grief and great courage to start over again and to go into joy. And it's almost like, where can we give ourselves grace? Where can we give ourselves compassion and forgive ourselves because we're not able to do everything? There's so much that we put on ourselves as individuals to achieve or to accomplish in the day, and not all the time can we get to those things. And I too was a caretaker, Iris, and I understand that it's very difficult energetically. I understand what it feels like to be at someone's needs on a 24-hour base. And so when you're in that place and you get the 5 minutes to even be able to do what you have to do, it is simple shower and simple, like, let me step away for a second. Give yourself grace. Don't let the emotions get the best of you, because it is part of the grief process. As we are holding space for someone that we love, we also want to love ourselves in that same gentle way that we're giving to the others. And that requires compassion. It requires gentleness. And we lose that sometimes when we're hurting. I know for myself, I definitely lost myself in trying to take care of my mom, and I had to learn how to love myself again. And it happens. It's a very natural process. And so be gentle with yourself, mi amor. And I say, give yourself grace. And the heart here, staying in that heart. And the color pink and the color yellow, as I look down the lotus flower with the DNA strand, comes to my awareness. And so, there's always repairing the DNA and bring healing. And this is where in my class I talk about welcoming the angels. And this goes back to your question, what does that feel like? When you're asleep, when you wake up, you can invite healing into your DNA, into your nervous system, because that is a big part of where we impact within ourselves when we're going through grief of illness, loss, or trauma. It's within our nervous system. We take the impact on our memory, cellular level. So just give yourself gentleness, mi amor. Much love to you.
Awesome. Debbie would love a read from Debbie. She hasn't been read by you yet.
Oh, Debbie Hearn. I don't know why I want to go into trance speaking all of a sudden when she says, I would love a card. So I think, is this Debbie Hearn who does, are you the one that does trance, Debbie? Are you the one that does trance, my love? As I had cared for both my parents who were close together, and it was very stressful. It is so stressful, Debbie. And there is a treasure of the soul, right? Treasure of the soul. So your soul is a treasure. And so, oh my gosh, as I feel into this with you, I get the sense that your soul holds the gifts for so many. It's almost like when you're holding space for those who are transitioning. I believe you are someone that helps others to their journey back home, if you would understand this, Debbie Hearn. I almost get the sense, as I say this out loud with you, I get the sense that you also not only help them to see the light, but you've also given permission for others to express themselves, if you would understand this. A bit have shadow and learning. Yeah, the shadow part is it's so much work. It really is. It really is. Tell me, love, if this resonates with you. I'm just waiting for the comments to come in. Does she understand it? She
Maybe
hasn't
she'll
replied
answer
yet.
us in a little bit.
Oh, my dad said that I used to take souls. Well, that's, and so if we look at this, right, and we'll say fathers in spirit, and as I sit with father's energy here, I feel like my right side of my hip, like I would have had a hip issue here. I get the sense that if my heart would have also played a role or a factor. Thank you. You do understand this. Thank you. And so I know as his dad would come in, I get the sense that he would have had a certain walk with him. So I know either he had to hunch over as he walked, and I feel like, you know, he would come out and be impatient and kind of move his body and sway as I'm moving my body back and forth. So I get the sense that he could not sit still, if you would understand this, Debbie. There's a single sunflower that comes to you as my legs begin to become weaker. I know that your father would have definitely had some mobility issues as my legs start to get weak at the. Yes, you do. Debbie? Yes. Okay. So I know the lungs would have been a breath. Thank you here. The breath is very important. So I do feel holding his hand. I do feel as my hand was holding his hand, he has COPD and heart issues because I just took the breath and I felt that. But I also feel that you held his hand, and I have to say that the comfort of your hand holding his hand gave him peace to pass with gentleness. So there is a gift in being able to hold space for those who have passed. I believe that you held space for many to a transition. And as you were able to fold his belongings and you were going through his things, I feel like there's on the side of your bed, on the dresser, I don't know if you have a significant other, I definitely get the sense that there are belongings to this person that was on the side of his bed as well, because this is what is being placed upon me right now. It's like tissues and grief is what he's acknowledging, and he's just putting you a blanket of protection to let you know that he's definitely with you. So there's a lot of love and support that's coming forward. A bird comes forward as well. I want to give you a red cardinal. I want to give you a tree. So I feel when you look outside, I feel like you have spirit art or art, that there's something about drawing the nature. So I get the sense that you're very creative and that you also can connect to spirit art as well, because he tells me that you also see him. You also have a guide that steps forward who feels very healing, very native as well. And so as his energy steps forward, this is a guide that's connecting with your trance art as well. So just know that spirit is definitely around you, and you are this treasure, a hidden treasure of spirit. So I just leave you with Dad's love, and I say God bless.
I don't know what I just did.
But they also say, I see you. They're also saying, thank you for taking care of me. So a lot of love. Sorry that you did not get to say goodbye, but they felt your hand and presence there as well. So there's something about not being there. Yes, it was my voice he heard as he was leaving on the phone. That's the sorry you didn't get to be there. Thank you. So it's not being able to say goodbye. I was like, why did I get that again? But yes, the hand, you were physically, he felt the hand, but he felt you there. And so please let that go, that you did not get to say goodbye because he hurt you.
I have one for Trudy. Is Trudy still here?
I love Trudy. Get it, Trudy? Hi, Luke, also from the UK. Yes, Trudy, girl, are you still here, Trudy? Thank you, Debbie Hurd, for letting me hold space. Lone Roof, sorry, Lone Roof. Don't be sorry, baby.
Trudy, I want to talk about honesty, and not in the way where you're telling lies, but in the way where you're being true to yourself. And it feels like it has to do with boundaries. I feel like you have such an incredibly giving heart. But do you know Trudy? Can you validate that?
He's a very loving person, very loving.
And I want to remind you to make sure you don't give more than you have, because you definitely need to keep it for yourself as well. And I also feel that it's been quite a challenge for you, literally having people close to you that weren't always telling the truth, or I feel like you've even experienced life with some people that maybe gaslighted you or things like that. So I know your truth is so important, and I just want to remind you to keep that flow of self-love and not let anyone drain you. I hope that makes sense. Do you think that makes sense for Trudy said definitely
She said
on
definitely.
point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's great. When we talk about honesty, people, will think, it has to do with telling the truth or not. And it's not about that. It's not about telling lies. It's about being truthful to your soul and being truthful to yourself. And it all comes back down to self-love.
Right. I love that you say that. I remember a friend saying, just stay honest, right? And when you stay honest with yourself, it's even in the work that we
Mm-hmm.
do, really honor what you see, honor what you feel, and honor the energies that come forward. And of course, again, always honor yourself and your belief and stand in your truth. I mean, that's
Mm-hmm.
such a beautiful thing to really stand in that power. There's empowerment in standing in your truth, and that's
Mm-hmm.
taking your power back. Mm-hmm.
See. We have time for a couple more.
Sure, beyond the veil of spirit. Hey, do you have a specific question beyond the veil of spirit? I feel like I don't know why I get like ghost boxes and get like the RAM pods. Are you doing paranormal? Are you investigating something? Talk to me beyond the veil of spirit.
Let's see. Maybe he or she will have
Need
any guidance.
to
Oh,
get my power
Trudy
back.
needs to get her power back. That's awesome.
Yeah, you got this, babe. I hope you guys get tickets to the retreat. It sounds like it's going to be a very balanced show event, and so there's different ways of bringing forward different techniques to help one through their awakening. So, Lauri, you put an amazing event together. I believe the link is in the bio of tonight, and so people can buy that ticket and purchase it. Don't forget to use Debbie, y'all, so you guys can get the $5 off, and that way there you can be part of my class. Oh, it's Matthew Bustos. You are doing paranormal. I didn't recognize, and I got my glasses on, bro. Thank you for being here. Matthew is, and I know I have a ghost box and several ghost apps on my phone. Very interesting. Oh my God. So one day we downloaded the ghost app on our phone, and we were on the house, and we're like, see what it picks up, and it says teacher, teacher. And it said professor, and she is a professor and she's a teacher.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so those things are awesome. So yes, please use the code Debbie. Trudy, I can't wait to see you. That is going to be so cool. Thank you, Michelle, for being here. So Matthew Bustos, mijo, I'm assuming you're having paranormal experiences, physical stuff happening around you. Are things flying? Like the energy's going crazy? I know you're a photographer, and he catches spirit in a very unique way, Lauri. He's
Oh,
amazing.
that's awesome.
So if you have a specific question, please put it down, babe. Definitely put it down. I'm going to send you lots of love.
I pulled a card for him, and it's funny you said there are things going on around him. The card I pulled was treat your body like the palace it is. And to me, that goes again back to self-love. When you're doing your work, when you're doing any kind of work, make sure you're okay first before you're helping anyone else. And if your work is draining you, just get back to self-care. I think everyone needs that. Everyone needs that message today.
Yeah. Do you know what's interesting when we do? And you had a lady that was on here last week, and she talked about physical mediumship and trance, right?
Winterbrook, she's doing. Yep, she's doing that.
I absolutely loved what she was bringing forward to the forefront. And she talks about trance, and she talks about physical mediumship. And I definitely believe that, and I know when we are also, we're also playing a factor in spirit and how spirit connects with us. And because some of us may not realize that we are acting or a conduit in the physical mediumship form way, our energy is manifested and growing. It's also manipulating the energies around us. And so this is where we also have to be mindful of our own energy and what we're bringing forward for spirit to work with. And so when you say that, I feel like sometimes people are really quick to blame spirit, but forget to take responsibility for self as well. And when I learned that, I was like, oh my God, let me clean my energy. Oh my God, let me take care of this. And that's the journey within. And so as I was doing an investigation, things were, coming in as through apports. Things were just coming in, but it was the person's energy who also played a factor in it. So he also was gifted and was able to create this intent, which allowed things to come to the surface. So when you ask people to give you feathers or to give you coins and to show you a sign, spirit is going to do their part, and your energy also plays a role because he's made the intent and they've also played a role in that. So I just love how we also play a factor in it, and it's okay. You know, it's a beautiful thing, but it's just the understanding that we also are playing that factor too.
Absolutely. There was Elizabeth. I was going to pull you a card and then I didn't even have to. I just want to shout a message to you. Stop second guessing yourself.
You got it.
You got it. Don't doubt yourself. I feel like there are some people around you that might not be helping lift you up. I feel like they might be in sort of getting you to question yourself, and you have the answers. You truly do. You have the answers, and go with what feels right. Go with what feels right. If you're trying to decide between A and B, just check in with yourself. Close your eyes, put your hand on your heart. Think about one of the options and just pay attention to how that feels, and do the same with the other one. I hope you're still there, Elizabeth. Let me know if that resonates with you.
Right. Yeah.
And Beyond the Veil says, I've been going through a lot emotionally with current relationships. That's really funny. I want to say something similar to you. You can't do the work for you and the other person in a relationship. You can only do the work for you, and the other person has to show up as well. I don't believe relationships are always 50-50. I think if there's unconditional love, sometimes one person has to pull a little more, you know, and be there for the other person. We might be sick. We might not be well emotionally, physically. But as long as each person is putting in the effort emotionally, physically, spiritually, so you just can't be doing it for both of you. And that goes with any relationship, not just romantic, friendship, business, everything.
Right. But you know what I get from Matthew is his grandfather in spirit just pops in really quickly. And granddad either has a connection to military, and he just like, dude, like you're like Rocky, like the eye of the tiger, right? Like, you know, when Rocky like trains, so you go into like running and they show me that you work, and I know you on an individual, on a little personal level. And so I get the sense that it's like the eye of the tiger. It's like work with that tiger eye, you know, bring clarity, ask for clarity. And this way when you're making your choices or decisions, there's clarity. There's a deep connection. There's a blend, because I almost feel like when you're connecting to your spirit team, you're asking for their help and guidance, but also ask your own spirit, am I making the right choice? And a lot of times use your body, because I feel like your body will sway a certain way when it doesn't feel balanced. And so granddad is acknowledging dad, and they're just reminding you that you're a fighter, and to remember where you come from, because you come from a long family that's worked very hard. I get the sense that they came from field workers, or, you know, people who worked really hard with their hands, because all of a sudden my hands get really like I'm in there, you know? And so it's like, I want to give you opportunities as well. So they're like, for me, they just show me like opportunities, pulling up like all the seeds. It's fine. It's time to step into those harvest things that you definitely have planted the seeds for. So yes, he's amazing. God bless you. So I'll leave you with their love, support.
He says, OMG, that's amazing. His favorite stone was a tiger's eye he had.
I love that. Absolutely love it. So awesome. He steps forward, reminds you of your hard work and ethics and who you are. Stay with the love.
Let me know if what I said resonates at all with you. Okay, we have a few minutes.
Yeah.
There's a couple of people that are asking. Cheyenne.
Cheyenne. Hi, Andrea.
Cheyenne.
Yeah.
Do you want to?
Whatever you want to go to, I'll definitely work with wherever. I follow your lead, baby, wherever you want to go.
Okay. I think Cheyenne is for you. I don't know why, but.
Okay. Cheyenne, do you have a specific question?
Cheyenne.
I know Cheyenne is one of my students' friends, and so we've had the honor to work
Oh,
with her. She's very open and loving. Cheyenne, as I just bring you closer, as the theme is about mothers, right? My mom, you have Lauri's grandmother stepping forward, her mother stepping forward, and our message when we first started, it was like women uniting. And so I feel like I just want to give grandmother behind you. I want to give you strength as a mother. I want to let spirit come around your back and bring a little energy, a little healing, some white light around the spine. I feel like just, the world is on your shoulders. So it's like an angelic massage from spirit world, right? And as I feel this is a gentleman, a grandfather, which I feel is connected to your baby's dad stepping forward. And I feel like my head is a little bit weak, a little dizzy. So I feel like I'm a little dizzy with him. I almost get the sense that they're bringing healing around his essence here. And so I feel like support, where they want to bring in support. So start asking the angels for help, support for him, support for you to continue that strength and courage to move forward as a mother, as an individual, as someone who's, doing your part as a hard worker, and also making sure that the kids get what they need. So there's specifically a young boy that's being brought forward. Maybe the concerns as mothers, we worry, but I just feel like grandma's all over it. So she's going to take care of him, whether this is something with his own personal self. I get the sense that he's going to express himself with toys. I see like little outside playing with little trucks and playing in the dirt. And I feel like, he's squatting and he's doing his little thing. And so grandma's like, I got him. Don't worry. We got him. So that's what I want to give you. Guidance of support from grandmother and support to you. And I just say, God bless.
so the next one, I was looking at the names and then they literally all went blur. I could physically see them, but in my mind, so I'm not saying this to anyone in particular, but I do know there's someone on here whose either brother or brother-in-law is in spirit. If you want to acknowledge who it is, certainly put it in the comments. If not, that's fine. They're making me aware that the passing was a little bit, you would have said mysterious, didn't know a lot of the details. You have tons and tons of questions, and he wants you to know that he is okay, and it is all okay. And please put your energy and your effort into healing yourself and loving yourself, because he's okay, and now it's time for you to be okay. Brenda, if that resonates with you, let me know. Again, it's okay if you don't. But that was just a really important message to get out there.
It says my brother, Andrea said her brother.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, let me know if that resonates with any of you, that message.
Andrea said it resonated with her.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
And then Brenda also said, yes, definitely resonated.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe that's why I didn't see the specific name. It may have been meant for more than one person to hear.
Yeah.
It's hard, when we lose someone we love so much, we want answers and we want to figure things out, but we forget that the things that are important here in the physical are not as important when we leave our physical bodies, and it's more about love and healing, and they want us to love and enjoy our time here because it is short, and it's the best way I feel we can honor our loved ones is to love here, love ourselves, love each other, and make the most of this. Would you agree?
Yeah, as what comes to mind is Gabby, who's watching, who's a reminder of Dia de los Muertos is coming. And as that time, as we're in this thin veil of being able to remember them, I was cleaning out a box today, and all the pictures of my loved ones were coming out of that are in spirit, my grandfather, my mother. There was just memories that just I continue to just touch, we're touching and remembering because you're touching the objects of things and her obituary and things like that. And as these days come closer, we honor them with our traditions and ceremonies and prayers, but there is a way that we can incorporate them in our daily life. If you choose to believe and you choose to remember, it's always just that gentle thought. what's very different is you're going to learn to recreate a new way to connect to spirit and to your loved ones that are in heaven. And so to recreate a new memory, a new way of connection, there's a lot of beauty in that. There really is. And there's a lot of healing and a lot of love. And what's different sometimes when we lose a loved one here, and their personalities and their characteristics continue, but it also evolves into that pure essence soul of love. And so there is a gentle kindness. My mother had dementia. And so at one period in time, it was very difficult. But in spirit world, there's so much clarity and love when she comes present. And so before we started, Lauri was like, I couldn't spell this word, but I knew why, because her essence was present. So as the energies blend with us, you will be able to have that gentle memory by a thought within your heart. Someone said once, a thread that is created from the heart never ends, even in the spirit world. So with great love, and there's great grief, it's because there was great love. So,
you know, we have a few people now talking about tragic passings. We have Nancy Orland Weber as one of the presenters, and she's actually going to do a talk on losing a loved one in a tragic way. So that's something that really, you know, deserves some attention, because it's difficult for us here. So much love to all of you that are dealing with that. And we are out of time because I have a class.
yeah. So thank you all for just coming in and listening. Lauri, thank you for letting me be a
This was
guest.
fun.
Yes.
This was fun.
Yeah.
We're going to have to do this again.
Totally. We'll bring you and Brian on my platform here. Maybe next week we can do this again. But again, if you guys are interested in purchasing your tickets for this retreat, the link is in the comments, and then we will repost it. And use Debbie to get $5 off. It's an all-day event. And Lauri, amazing
3
job.
days.
3 days event. Oh gosh.
3 days.
3 days, y'all.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yes.
I will be there. I will be there. That's for sure. So I can't wait. Thank you so much for putting this together.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Take care. Yay.
Okay. We're not live anymore, right?
Did you